the economic or the market downturn. So I guess the government is trying to address this issue, especially trying to change and amend policies to make it easier and more flexible for developers to be able to acquire land, larger scale land, and are able to build faster and deliver more housing units to population. So I guess the policies will be on the supply side and trying to improve the supply situation in Vietnam, and a lot of these policies will be favorable to large scale developers like Vinhomes. Second question from Đức Anh. What's your number one indicator that the real estate market in the South is on a stronger recovery trend? So I guess the strongest indicator is the pricing levels and home prices in the southern part of the country have also continued to grow. So just to give you a figure, average house prices in Ho Chi Minh last year has increased by 24% year on year, despite the low supply level. So demand in the southern parts of the country remains strong. So clearly it is pricing is rising, and new projects have continued to have higher prices compared to the last one. However, supply will be expected to recover this year and next year, with many projects being on the pipelines, including Vinhomes' own projects in the surrounding of Ho Chi Minh, in Long An in particular, and other developers as well. So I've got another question from Thục Tan. Please update on the legal status and what is the next step for each project's pipeline in Ho Chi Minh, including Cần Giờ, Lam An Golf, and International University Township. So for Cần Giờ projects, we are in the process of receiving the 1/500 development plan. And for IUT, the International University Township, we have concluded the land clearance process. And for Lam An Golf, we are finalizing legal process for these projects. There's another question from Thục Tan. Please provide an update on the current legal status and the next steps for the new land bank in Long An, including Hậu Nghĩa, Phước Vĩnh Tây, and Tân Mỹ. Which project is most likely to launch pre-sales first? So for Hậu Nghĩa, we are in the finalization of the land clearance process. We have got the approval in principle and investment license. For Phước Vĩnh Tây, we are also in the land clearance process, and we've received investment license and approval, investment approval as well. For Tân Mỹ, very similar. So land clearance process concluded, nearly concluded, got AIP, and investment license. I guess these projects are all on the pipelines, and depending on the market conditions and also sort of market favor, then we'll decide to launch either one of these projects first upon the market feedback from our customers. All right. Another question from Tuk Tan. What is the outlook for pre-sales growth in 2025? Which new projects do you anticipate launching in 2025? So again, we have a significant pipeline of projects which are or could be expected to be launched in 2025, including our projects in Hanoi, Đan Phượng, our projects in Long An, Hậu Nghĩa, and Hậu Nghĩa, Tân Mỹ, Phước Vĩnh Tây, and we also have a project in Hải Phòng, Dương Kinh. So again, these projects are expected to be launched in accordance to market feedback from our customers, and when the projects are legally and operationally ready. In addition to that, we continue to push for sales activities for the remaining stock at Royal Island, Ocean Park 2 and 3, Golden Avenue, as well as the high-rise at Star City in Thanh Hóa. All right. Next question. What is the retail bulk sales split for financial year 24 pre-sales and for the total unbilled backlog at the end of 24? How much of the total backlog will be recognized in 2025? So for pre-sales breakdowns for financial year 24, retail was 70.7 trillion Vietnam dong, which represented 68% of our pre-sales. And bulk sales was 33.3 trillion Vietnam dong, which was 32% of our total pre-sales. So our pre-sales and unbilled sales will be recognized in according to the deliveries of the units in 2025. All right, I've got a question from Michael Lim. What is the breakdown of unbilled sales between? Oh, we've got that one covered. That's covered. Sorry, my mistake. So questions from Michael. What is the breakdown of unbilled sales between retail and bulk sales? So for unbilled sales breakdowns, for retail was 42.9 trillion Vietnam dong, which was 46% of our unbilled sales, and bulk sales was 31.3 trillion Vietnam dong, which was 54%. Question from Tuk Tan. Which bulk sales transaction were recognized in Q4 24? Which you provide the pre-tax gain for each transaction? So in Q4, we recognized two projects at Ocean Park 3 with a total value of 9,300 billion Vietnam dong. Yeah, so I have a question from Jiamei. How about Vinhome Global Gate's contribution to Vinhome sales and earnings in 25? So Vinhomes will receive the shared profits accordingly to the BCC that we have VFAC. When the project is concluded, then Vinhomes will receive the split profit in according to the BCC agreement Vinhomes has with VFAC. I've got a question from Terence K. Can you share potential new launches for 2025? What are the project size in the pipelines? So again, we have a significant pipeline of projects that could be launched in 2025, including projects in Hanoi, in Haiphong, and in Long An as well. Again, these projects will be launched in according to market feedback from our customers, and we have already kickstarted some of the marketing activities for these projects. Okay, I've got a question from Nguyen Phan, BNDS. Please inform us about the bulk sales, retail sales in unbilled booking, and contracted sales in Vinhome Royal Island. So for this, retail sales, contracted sales was 38 trillion Vietnam dong. Unbilled sales was 26 trillion Vietnam dong. For our bulk sales, the contracted sales was 29 trillion Vietnam dong, and the unbilled sales were 4.6 thousand billion Vietnam dong. I've got a question from Dad Van team. How many remaining units are available for sale in Vinhomes Ocean Park 1, 2, and 3, as well as Vinhomes Vu Yen? So by the end of Q4 24, at Ocean Park 3, we have sold 13,426 units. This is 99.9% of the total number of units at Ocean Park 3. At Ocean Park 2, we have sold more than 24,500 units, representing 97.2% of the total number of units. Ocean Park 1, we've sold 99% by the end of Q4. And for Royal Island, accumulatively, we have sold 7,600 units over 8,350 units, so representing 92% of the units launched for sales, including our bulk sale transactions as well. All right, I've got a question from Nguyen Phan, VNDS. Please update the current progress of Vinhomes Dang Phu. So we are concluding finalizing the legal procedure and we would launch these projects fairly soon, depending on market conditions, hopefully after the Vietnamese New Year. I've got a question from that Van team again. Is there any new projects that Vinhomes will be open for sales? Any update on Vinhomes Wonder Park? Again, we've got a strong pipeline of projects to be launched this year in Hanoi, Hải Phòng, and Long An. Vinhomes Wonder Park, we're finalizing the last sort of processes for these projects to be launched probably early on in the year. I've got a question from Tok Tan. Can you remind us which projects account for the 29% of the unbilled backlog at the end of 24? When could they be recognized into P&L? The backlog and the 29% were across two projects. One project in the north and one project in the south that we sold under the bulk sale transactions last year, and remaining from others projects as well. They will be recognized in our P&L when the processes be finalized. All right, Tok Tan question, could you please provide an update on the progress of the $500 million international bonds, including interest rates and the intended use of the proceeds? So we have, for the international bond issuance, we have finalized the procedures for the bond issuance, including the resolution from the board of directors and the general shareholder meeting. We have received in-principle approval from the Singapore Exchange. We've received approval from the State Bank, size approval from the SPV, the State Bank of Vietnam, as well as the SSC for the bond issuance. We are in the process discussing the pricing with our potential investors, and we will announce when the information becomes available. So just to give you an update on the bond issuance, we have completed two credit ratings, which are now public, which are for Moody's and Fitch. We received BB- and B1, the highest rated privately owned non-financial corporates in Vietnam, with two notches below Vietnam's sovereign rating of BB+ and Ba2, highlighting our strong credit profile and the low leverage. Moody's indicated the path for Ba3 rating and has considered this with the holdback from the credit perspective being the cash outflow for the share buyback, no notch down from the unsecured bond, and we expect close monitoring of this agency, particularly around our activities, business activities. Right. Any impact on rising land prices of Vinhomes? Will it impact you if you to the market replenish land bank? So I guess the rising land prices would impact on the market as a whole. And historically, what we have seen is that generally when land prices go up, the retail prices will also increase in according to the increase in land prices, as well as developers often pass on the increases to the home buyers. All right. So Ken, can you please elaborate on the upcoming project launches in 25? May I also check if there is any update on the launch of Koh Wonder Park? So again, we have several projects to be launched this year and next year in Hanoi, Long An, and Hai Phong. For the projects in Wonder Park in Hanoi, we are expecting to launch this project within 2025. Koh Loa is a project under VFAC, and I believe that they have also launched their project already. All right, I've got a question from Tam Wing. Could you provide us with some updates on Vinhome social housing projects and any projection for 2025? So we have several social housing projects, and we expect to launch our projects, our social housing projects in Thanh Hóa in 2025, as well as projects in Hai Phong as well this year, amongst other developments in the pipelines. Right, so we've got a question from that Van team. Can you update more clearly on the bulk sales in Vinhomes Phú Yên to Nomura developer in terms of land size as well as the selling price? So The total land size of the subdivision sold to Nomura was 38% of the low-rise land at Buyin project, and we achieved very favorable selling price for these projects, both for us and for our partner as well. I've got a question from Jung Pham. Can you share your expectations on demand for low-rise units at projects in Long An and Cần Giờ? So again, for the past few years, supply in Ho Chi Minh and the surrounds of Ho Chi Minh have been significantly limited. As a result, a lot of pent-up demands have spread from Ho Chi Minh to the surrounding areas. And pricing-wise, markets in the surrounds of Ho Chi Minh have also increased significantly as well. And we're very confident of the demand level for our projects in Long An and in Cần Giờ, especially with us having the reputation for developing projects outside of the cities with fully integrated urban areas with diverse amenities and facilities such as schools and hospitals and entertainment facilities. So the home buyers who are coming to our projects are not buying just a property, but also they have access to all these amenities as well, and also the lifestyle and green living environment. I've got a question from Nghe PSB. Could you update on the current status of Hạ Long Sun projects? So for these projects, we have received 1/500 approval for the Hạ Long subdivision. We have also received the in-principle approval and investors' approval for the Hạ Long subdivision. We've concluded the land clearance, and nearly 99% of the land has been handed over for the Hạ Long subdivision. And we'll consider the right timing for launching this subdivision over the coming time. I've got a question from Mai Vu. Will the marketing and selling expenses increase? Will the marketing and selling expenses increase significantly in 2025, and how many percent? So we would expect the marketing and selling expenses to remain at a stable proportion of our sales and revenue. In fact, Vinhomes is reputable for managing our costs effectively, including the marketing and selling costs in the history. And we anticipate to maintain the same level going forward as well. I've got another question from Tok Tan. What are the new bulk pre-sales in Q4 2024 coming from? The pre-sales in Q4 for bulk sales came from a significant transaction for one subdivision at Ocean Park 3. I've got another question from Go Cole. HSBC, what is your current land bank and how many years of pre-sales can it cover? So our current land bank is approximately 188 million square meter. And this is sufficient for our developments up to 30 years in the future at the current rates of developments. I've got another question from Eugene. Are we expecting further land law reforms from the Vietnam's government? I guess the government has already issued many of the amendments to the land laws and other reforms as well last year. And this year, we anticipate the implementation of these amendments and the laws, and the government will be providing guiding documents to activate and to enact these laws going forward. I've got another question from Eugene. May I know how the finance income that is adjusted to net revenue is accounted for in the cash flow statements? So the finance revenue, the income from the BCC projects will be reflected in our operating cash flow. That was the last question, and thank you very much, everyone, for your question. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. We have reached the time for our Q&A session today. Should you need any further clarification or should you have any questions following today's call, please feel free to reach out to us by sending an email to ir@vinhomes.vn. Thank you all for being with us today. A gentle reminder before you leave, we will host the Vin Group's earnings call for the fourth quarter of 2024 at 4 p.m. today. Again, thank you for joining today's call, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.